Welcome SRA Nation, welcome to Sim Racing Alliance GT3 Main Series Season 16.
It's gonna be a wonderful race here tonight. We got some great action here.
He's gonna look on the inside. He's gonna dive. There's a Mercedes. Oh no!
I mean, these two drivers side by side, it's not going to be, it's exactly what you want to see behind you. Spins his wheels, and that's going to be prime time attacking opportunity.
Oh, and he's gonna try to stick it inside.
Oh, no contact. Oh my god!
And we're off and away for SRA. Hello, SRA Nation. Oops, I forgot to change a couple things. There we go. Hello, SRA Nation, and welcome back to Season 17, Division 5, Round 7. We are at Kyalami. I am Trey Morgan. I'm your host for tonight, and we will be joined shortly by Kyle Boys. Unfortunately, he's having some technical issues, but he will be back very soon, so don't you worry about him. He will be here eventually. So while we're waiting for him, we're going to go ahead and quickly look at where we've raced so far and where we're going to be at today. So we've had 6 rounds, 2 to go. We're in the home stretch, and tonight's going to be very fun. We have a lot of drivers very close on points, and we have left Europe temporarily. We're making a quick trip to South Africa to Kyalami. Kyalami is a very fun track, and I'll go ahead and show the track map here. It's one of the most interesting tracks here. I really love the flow of it. There's only a couple places where you really get a quote-unquote break from all of the complex turns that you get at this track, but it's not really an issue because you never feel like you're getting thrown back and forth, or at least not in my mind. We can ask Kyle once he gets back here, but we're going to go ahead and walk you through the lap here. So turn 1, not really a turn. It's in the middle of a straight. It kind of feels like a turn, but you don't break it for it, so I don't call it a turn. Turn 2, very heavy braking zone. Very hard to get right. You have to trail brake essentially through the whole corner in order to get the best possible exit. Turns 3 and 4, right after that, you don't brake for. They're supposed to be flat out. Now, if you're going side by side with someone, you won't be flat out, but it'll be fun anyways. And then for turn 5, you're another braking zone where you're trail braking essentially through the whole corner. It's an uphill left-hander, and it's off camber, especially if you're hitting the inside curb. It has what I like to call a bubble curve. So basically, it looks like a bubble that's trapped on the ground. It's not like a sausage curb where it's very, very aggressive in you hitting it. It's just a raised platform essentially. We'll show you once we get on track. But if you take the corner correctly and hit that bubble curve, you will be very off camber, so it's very hard to get correct. Sector 2 is the most technical section of the entire track. Turn 6, Sunset, if I'm remembering correctly, is very fun. It's a long right-hander. It's not very sharp, but it will be very hard to get correct, especially in the latter stages of some of these stints that our drivers do, just because of how long and how fast it is. Turn 7 is a hard braking zone down to gear 2 or 3, depending on your car. And then you have the short chute to turn 8 and 9. This is what most people call the S section of the track. So you're braking super hard for a left-hander of 8, and then you go down and then back up to the right through 9, all the way to the hardest braking zone on the track of turn 10. Turn 10 is a very hard braking zone. The braking zone is also up a hill, so you can brake a lot later than you would normally think coming onto a track. Then turn 10, once you go through turn 10, you're flat out all the way through turn 11 and 12 down to turn 13. Turn 13 is another corner where you have to trail brake all the way through the corner in order to get the maximum performance. I suppose I should have explained it earlier, but trail braking is where you're not braking 100%. So normally when you're in a car, if there's a turn ahead, you brake, you slow down for the corner, then you lift off the brake and you go through the corner. Trail braking is where you brake a little bit later than you normally would going into the corner, and then while you're turning, you have the brakes on a little bit, so maybe 10% on the brakes through the corner. What this does is it allows for the front tires to take more grip than the rear tires, and allows you to turn better. So in front engine cars such as the Mercedes, the Lexus, the Nissan, the Mustang, and other cars like that, you get a lot more cornering grip and cornering speed by trail braking through the corner. And it's a really good way for you to get lap time in some of the low to medium speed corners, such as turns 2, 5, turns 2, 5, 8, 10, 13, and 16. Turn 15, though, is really where the fun of this track really is. 15 is a right-hander called Cheetah, because ideally, except for maybe a couple cars that don't really have good turning, you aren't braking through Cheetah. And so it's very hard to get proper, to line up properly for the corner, because it's got a sausage curb on the inside. If you mess up and hit the curb on the inside, you will bounce wide, go bunny hopping, and you will hit the wall. Possibly multiple times, probably multiple times. If you go too wide on the outside of the corner, then you will go into the grass, your rear tires will go ahead of you, you will spin out, hit at least one of the walls, and die. And if you go too slow, then your opponents are going to get really close to you, possibly trying to move into turn 16, the final lap or corner of the lap, and then whether or not they're beside you, they're going to have a really good run all the way back down the main straight into turn 2. So a lot of corners for our drivers to think about. There's no corners that really feel the same, and so I really like the flow state that you have to get into in order to do this track really well. We're going to go ahead and look at our driver standings now. So Joey Van Winkle is our current leader, but he's only leading by 3 points. Alan Leung is currently 3 points behind Joey, followed by Dick Zipperburn Sr., who's only 11 points back. Ian Gilchrist, who's only 30 points back. And then we get into the not quite realm of out of it, because there's no one really out of the championship yet at this point. But it's going to be very hard for our drivers such as Stefan Pellerin, Daniel Beckstead, and Brad Morath to get back into the fight, because it's so tight up at the top. Now, for any of the drivers up at the top, a good finish here is essentially required. A bad finish probably won't put you out of championship contention unless you have a really bad wreck, but it will cause you issues in the last race next week at Red Bull Ring, because then you will have to hope that everyone ahead of you absolutely messes up in their race or has a bad race, and then you win the race essentially. So all of our top 4 drivers have to have a good race. Looking into the Silver Championship, Quinn Jetter is not quite running away with it. He has about I believe it's a 26-point gap to Jason Yu, and then a 27-point gap to Denis Savard. So Jason Yu and Savard fighting for that P2 position and for the right to fight Quinn Jetter for the win next week. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they all do. And really quickly, I'm going to go ahead and show the back end of our championship standings. Daniel Builez, I know that he's technically silver and he's technically at the bottom of the championship right now, but he's super fast today. So ideally, for D5, for Division 5, your hot laps should be around a 142.8. That's kind of where I expect around our drivers to qualify, with our pole position somewhere around a 42.3, maybe. Daniel Builez has set a 141.5, and that is insane. He's over a second up on where he should be, about a 1.3 seconds. 1.3 seconds, and he's 0.8 faster than anyone else in D5 right now. So he has a really good chance here to get a good finish today, and it probably won't get him in contention for silver, as he is over 100 points back, I believe, from Quinn Jetter, but it definitely would put him in shooting distance of win in silver. So that's going to be one of the drivers to look for. Now for the team standings, Brad Morath and Dick Zipperburn Sr. are still leading in top of the bell curve racing with 702 points. Now, a good chunk of those points are coming from Zipperburn Sr. being in the lead. Joey Van Winkle and Shane Sullivan are both looking to try and upset them with a 68-point gap between those two. And then the only other team that has a chance at winning, I think, technically I think down to P10 has a chance of winning, but the only other team who really has a realistic shot in my mind of winning is TC8 Team Racing 1 between Alejandro Guarin and Ian Gilchrist. Hey, Kyle's back. Welcome, Kyle.
I'm here.
Hooray!
This is as good as it's going to get for you tonight, though.
Hey, that'll be fine. Anywho, so quickly finishing up the team standings. Like I was saying, TC8 Racing Team 1 is probably the only one with a good shot at upsetting our top two teams in the team championship standings. Kyle, I know that I'm putting you on the spot here right as you're getting back, but I already talked about how Daniel Builes is going absolutely phenomenally fast here today. Is there anyone that you think is going to do really good here today?
Actually, Daniel Builes was the one that I was thinking because I seem to have some technical issues. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
You're showing.
I've been.
So you're showing up on my OBS thing, so I assume I can hear you.
Okay, good. I've been keeping up with the fast times, and I even ran I ran the practice race last night just for fun. And afterwards, he was in a practice lobby, and so was I. And I tried chasing him around the track, and he was running 1.42s or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, this is insane. So
yeah,
this is his track for sure. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. I've been told I need to rebalance my microphones, so hopefully this works. All right, so if someone else yells at me about how loud someone is or isn't, please let me know in the comments, or I guess Jess can yell at me in our group chat. But yeah, like you were saying, Daniel Builes going absolutely fast. Ian Gilchrist, definitely nowhere near as far away from the other drivers as Daniel Builes, but he's doing good. I'm a little, let's see, if I go back to the top of the driver standings to look at our fast drivers, there's no, all of our top 4 drivers are in, I believe, the top 8. Alan Leung is currently 8th right now, but Ian Gilchrist, Joey Van Winkle, and Zipper Sr. are all top 4 behind Daniel Builes. So Alan Leung may be at a slight disadvantage for total pace, but we will have to see. So let's go ahead and I think qualifying is about to start. So I will quickly set up my camera, which got disconnected. All right, there we go. Now we can go to the race. All right, so we are here just in time to watch silver qualifying. There's only a couple drivers actually out on track right now. And here's the aforementioned Daniel Builes, who is absolutely flying. It'll be interesting to see how he does here in actual qualifying, because I know that last week there were a couple drivers who were super fast in the practice lap or in the practice times, and then didn't really get to show that pace in the actual race. So I am looking forward to seeing who is able to, get better. All right. So Kyle, I don't know how much practice how much running you've done around this track since you're not in the championship fight anymore, but have you had a chance to drive Kyalami at all?
Yeah, I ran maybe an hour of practice or something last week. One day I had time, and then yesterday I ran the practice race with everybody. Until I had a network failure about halfway through and hit a wall, and I was like, it's really not worth risking somebody else's race. So I really like the track. I'm a little faster at it than other tracks, so I'd say that might you know, maybe that's why I like it a little more, but
That's fair enough. Yeah, I know that I've been super fast at this track while I've been doing my practice. Apparently, according to Sean Paul and someone else, it looks like Daniel Builes and I think Savard may have gone slightly early. So for our silver qualifying, you're supposed to leave the pits at 21:30. No, 20:30, I apologize, 20:30. So that you can finish your qualifying at 10:30, allows 30 seconds for our drivers to finish up their laps, and then our gold drivers qualify from 10 minutes to 0 minutes on the clock. I don't know if he'll get anything more than like a warning. I doubt he'll get a quality ban from that, but you never know, I guess.
yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on points too, right? This is my first season. I'm still kind of getting used to this whole thing, but I don't know. Maybe it depends on how many warnings you had before or how many points you already have, because I know they add up to a ban potentially, right?
Yeah, qualifying ban, or you get a qualifying ban once you get up to 4 penalty points, but you have to get 2 warnings is 1 penalty point. I think there is a distinction between warnings and qualifying warnings, but so I think it's like 2 qualifying warnings equals a qualifying ban, because they make separate distinctions for those. And
okay,
hopefully, like, you're not supposed to be side by side racing in qualifying, so if there is an issue, it might be a little bigger of an issue within the steward's eyes. I don't know. I'm not a steward. I might be later, but I'm definitely not now, so I will hold off that discussion for later. Yeah, we're gonna wait a little bit to go on board with Builes and look at Lanu Gray. Lanu Gray was practicing for a long time in the D5 server before the race today, so hopefully he does really good. He's just now coming into Sector 3, coming through Cheetah here. This is the corner I was talking about. If you do it right, you don't have to brake through Cheetah for most cars. There are some cars, like I think the Lexus, might have to do a slight tap on the brakes to make sure that they can get through it properly, but ideally you don't have to. But here he is coming across the line to a provisional P2 with a 145.0. Pretty nice for a banker lap. Lanu Gray, or Alejandro Guarin comes across the line with a 143.8. Quinn Jetter with a 144.0. Daniel Builes is going to improve his time to a 142 flat, but we're going to go ahead and go on board here for a lap. So we are going all the way down to turn 2 for the hard braking zone. Maybe turning a little early, but that inside curve is one of those, what I call balloon curves. They're not as aggressive as sausage curves would be, but they also aren't flat like normal exit curves like this one is. I don't know, would you agree with me with those being like balloon curves or something like that?
Yeah, I would, yeah. There's only really one curve in here I remember being afraid of, and every time I would hit it, it would just like destroy my whole life and send me out into the universe. So even last night during the practice, that oh, we're coming up on it right here. I cut. So this turn right here, I had somebody chasing me. I did what that guy did, but my whole car was over that. And in the review, we looked at it, and it was completely airborne at one point. I thought for sure it was over, but the car just stayed straight. It's incredible how crazy you can get with the limits here.
Yeah, this is one of the tracks where you don't really have to worry about track limits as much, because most of the time, if you go over track limits and get a track cut warning, you're not going faster anyways. So you always, like, at least for the most part, you always know when you've gone over track limits. There are some cases where that's not the case. Like, I think this last corner here, you can go too wide on exit and technically gain time, but it's really hard to do because of how hard the corner is. Like, that was a valid corner. It's really weird how wide they let you go for that last corner. But while that was a valid lap, unfortunately, I'm not going to say he was impeded by a car in front of him, but there was definitely a car very close ahead of him that was going a lot slower than Buila's expected to. So he will have to try and perform a new lap later. So we're going to go ahead and watch Quinn jitter here as he comes around. So, Kyle, you were talking about how one of the corners that we're coming up to here in a moment was causing issues with how, or with, I assume, was it the inside curb here or the outside curb? No, it was this one right there. Okay.
This one right here, yeah. Somebody, I think, who's in front of him on track right now? Whoever that is was chasing me around last night in that practice race, and I just kept paying a lot of attention to him. Yeah, that guy in that purple car in the front, and I wasn't watching the track. And when I looked up, it was like I was completely over that curb, completely airborne. I was like, "Oh, it's over with, man!" But it landed, and I just kept driving the race. Like I was like, "Man, if I could do that every time."
Yeah.
I didn't have time to try it again, but in the future I will.
Yeah. Right. Well, good news. I may have fixed the audio issue finally. For some reason I had you set to 200% in Discord, so hopefully that will fix it. But if not, oh well. We'll deal with that later. But anywho, Daniel Buila is gaining a lot of time here through the final sector. He's up by about 2/10 on his current lap, so he will get into the 141s with a 141.8. Still technically not at his personal best, but I really doubt that there's anyone, at least in silver, with a shot at beating him.
For me, I had the hardest time with turn 3 and turn 5. They're basically the exact same turn, just in different spots. And I could never seem to figure out where the break point is to make the apex on those. I was going too shallow or too wide. I just never figured it out. I don't know.
Yeah, turn 5 is fun. I talked about it in the opening while you were having your fun with technical things, but essentially, in order to take a lot of these corners correctly, you have to learn trail braking properly.
Oh yeah, and I'm not good at that at all.
Yeah, so if you don't know how to trail brake properly, a lot of this track is going to feel hard. Now, well, I'm not the best at trail braking. I want to make that very clear. This is going to sound like I'm boasting when I say this. I am definitely nowhere near as good as a lot of other drivers are, but I at least know generally how to trail brake. So I really like this track. I really don't want to say that I think the bop has something to do with it, but it almost feels like it. There's a lot of cars here that are under bopped, I feel, or don't have the possibility to be bopped as much as they need to be. Oh no, Buila's.
That's okay. He picked up like another second on his lap there, so.
All right. Well, the good news is there's really no one here that's going to challenge him for his provisional pole position. So I think he's good for now. But yeah, so the driver you've been talking about chasing you is Alejandro Guarin, currently sitting in P2 with a 143.5 lap. He's about halfway through the lap. We're going to go and go on board with him as we go through the lap and hopefully get the rest of the lap that we didn't get with Buila's going full tilt. So I know you've talked about turn 5 being an issue. Is there any other corners that you think are going to be having our drivers are going to have particular issues with during the race?
Just based off of our practice race last night, there were a lot of issues in the turn right before the final. I don't know what number that is.
I don't know that track number or the turn number. I do know that it's called Cheetah though.
So that little kink, that it has a really bad curb, and if you hit that sausage curb, it's over, and you'll take out anyone that's near you.
Yeah. So.
But then, right here.
Yeah.
And that's really easy to hit, and if you try to go 2 wide or 3 wide through there, it seems like it's impossible.
Yeah.
So
3 wide is definitely impossible. I don't Other than maybe turn 1 at this track, technically turn 2, there's nowhere I can think of where you could actually go 3 wide. I know that turn 2 is possible because I've seen it and done it, but it is so sketchy, I suggest not doing it. But anywho, Savard is still finishing up his lap. I think he technically has time that he can still gain. Excuse me, I'm having a lot of burps right now. But anywho, Daniel Huilez is our provisional P1 sitter with an absolutely amazing lap. His 1:41.8 time is about 0.3 off his personal best, but it is still faster than D4 drivers, and it's just a little bit under where I expected our D3 drivers today, also on YouTube, to be. So I will be interested to see if any of the gold drivers can really match him, because there's no one really close to him. Ian Gilchrist, who I will find right here, is the closest, but he's about 0.8 away from that. Now it's about 0.5 away from Builez's current lap. So I'll be interested to see if anyone actually has the ability to catch him. But yeah, so we're going to wait for Van Winkle here to get to the start-finish line, and then we're going to go on board with someone who maybe is a little bit more confident in how he's driving than most of these silver drivers are. So not getting a very good exit out of the final corner. You can see how he was, and maybe hear how he was sliding a little bit, but he's doing good so far. And then down into turn number 2. Hard braking. It almost sounded like he was on the gas and brakes at the same time, but I'm not sure. But the BMW here should be really fast. It's able to take a lot of these curbs a lot harder than most other cars. So like that corner there, if you're able to get that done properly, you can go super fast through that corner compared to everyone else. And that could set up a whole bunch of side-by-side action into Sector 2. Going through Sunset, maybe a little bit slower than you'd want to be. I know that this is a banker lap, so he's probably just trying to make sure he's staying within his limits, not wrecking at this point. Which is never a bad thing. You know, banker laps are always important. Ooh, unfortunately he just invalidated there. We're gonna go ahead and finish watching through this lap so you guys can get an understanding of how to take it. Yeah, I don't. So we've talked about corners where you may be having issues, or where we think our drivers could have issues. Do you have a favorite corner at this track, or one that you really like, Kyle?
Let me see. I think that cheetah turn, I think that is I think it's like the scariest and the funnest turn, because you're carrying so much speed. You blip the brake just a little bit and you send it into that corner and pray that you gauged it right and don't hit that curb, that sausage curb. So it's a little bit of that whole, like my mom always used to say, it's way more fun when you're a kid and you have a car you think might break down any minute because it makes things interesting.
Okay, I guess that's fair, but yeah. So unfortunately Van Winkle's first lap was invalid, and he's having some very big issues here, so I'm gonna come off of him and hopefully he's able to find some more lap time. Ian Gilchrist is our current P2 sitter with a 1:43.2. He will definitely still improve. He's already up by about 0.3, but still 1.25 seconds back from Builez. Since I asked you about yours, I'll go ahead and talk about my favorite corner. It's the hairpin at the very end of Sector 2. I'm going to go on board again with Ian Gilchrist because I think he's going to be a little bit more confident in how he takes it. But with it being an uphill braking zone, you have to brake so much later than you think you do. Yeah, so coming into this corner up here.
Okay, this was going to be my second choice.
Yeah, I really like that corner. I don't know why, but the Nissan is really able to connect well with it. And if you get that corner right, especially if you're right behind someone, you can force them offline coming into, I believe this is turn 14 that we're watching Ian Gilchrist go through right now. And if you're able to get them offline for 14, then you can hopefully try and force a side-by-side through Cheetah. And if you're ahead at Cheetah, you can force them to back out. Hopefully. Now, does it work all the time?
I would definitely back out personally, but yeah.
I wouldn't. Probably, unless I'm like already like falling behind, but you know, I'm also, I don't know how you describe me.
Which one is Sunset? Somebody in the chat said no one saying Sunset is their favorite. I don't know the names.
Yeah,
I barely know the numbers.
Yeah, so Joey Van Winkle, this is Sunset right here. It's turn, I think, 6. So it's the long downhill right-hander. I personally, in other cars like Sunset, I like that, but not in the Nissan. The Nissan is not built for cornering, especially at high speeds. So it always feels really sketchy when I'm going through Sunset. I don't know how you felt about that corner when you were doing your practice races, but
I don't mind it. I don't dislike it. I felt like I could never quite hit it the same way because I was depending on how much speed I carried out of the previous turn, I would have to change like my little bit of braking or lifting or whatever I'm doing to make it through that corner. So I personally never hit like oh, this is my consistent way I take this turn type situation.
That's fair enough.
Because that turn is very dependent on how you took the previous turn, basically, and how you're going to take the following turn.
Yeah, that's very fair. Yeah, Joey Van Winkle coming across the line with a slight improvement. He's going to move up. Well, no, he's not going to move up. He's going to improve his lap time. He's still provisional P3. Ian Gilchrist, the driver who I was saying was super fast, also improving by about a tenth up to P2, or to stay in P2. Still about 7.5 tenths back. Jeremy Ran, with I know Ever Courteous 749 is cheering for you. I believe that's his wife. I know their name is Elizabeth because they said their name in chat, but he does have a cheering section. He's unfortunately not had the best couple races, whether due to him making a mistake or someone else making a mistake and crashing into him. But since we're at a dry track, I expect he'll do a little bit better. Van Winkle is into the barriers. So, Viper Blade Iffy, you're saying that no one likes Sunset. I don't know if it was caught
That's
there
what I was
perfectly.
talking about earlier.
But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't like Sunset in the car that I drive, is because it never feels right.
Gilchrist is off the track all over the place right now.
Oh my. You are right. I'm going to show that here. So this is right after Sunset. Yeah, so that's turn 7, I think. Yeah, so going off there on the exit of whatever that corner happened to be, and then trying to spin his way back around so he can do one more lap.
I'm a little bit sad that Whitwam is not here.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
He's our resident menace. I look forward to watching him.
Yeah, there's a lot of menaces on track. I know that Dan Crane is definitely a menace on track up in D1. Having to race him in the practice races is insane. I was happy that this week I was able to not let him pass me for one lap.
Aren't those little wins like that feel great? Right?
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, Shane Sullivan, I'm not sure what's happening here. I think he's just letting drivers go so that he can try and get a free lap, and yes, he is. All right, he's going again. So there's no drivers.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Just Builez still having pole right now is incredible.
Yeah, I'm very scared to check how many hours he put into this track. I may check that during our ad read in between qualifying and the race, but Joey Van Winkle has one last shot here to try and get a lap in. Brad Bertram had an issue here. I think this was through the exit. Oh no. Okay, so that was on the exit turn 5. So thankfully he didn't crash in front of anyone, but he's still out so far. Alan Leung is our biggest improver right now, improving by about a half second. A little bit less now that I've clicked onto them and put the pressure by watching, unfortunately, but we will have to see how they do. I believe Viper Blade, if he is Builez, I could be wrong in that, but he said he did a lot of good practice, so hopefully...
that's Builez?
That's what I'm assuming. He can tell me if he's not, because
he was definitely still practicing right after the practice race last night for a while. I was in there with him, so...
Yeah, I will have to check and see on SRA Insights how much time he's done. Jeremy Ran is now finished in 4th place, going to park. Alan Leung still improving, but not by as much as I think you'd hope he would. Ian Gilchrist slightly improving. He's not going to improve his overall position, but he will improve his lap time. Alan Leung coming across the line ahead of him, unfortunately lost a whole bunch of the time he improved on. He was... Oh, that's Viper Blade is Rusko Bad. Okay, so... Alright. So Rusko Bad, I believe, is someone I'm fighting up in D2. And anyway, so yeah. Unfortunately, Alan Leung lost a lot of the time as soon as I said that he was doing good, so please go ahead and blame me. But he did fight up a long ways in the race last week, so he definitely still has a chance. Joey Van Winkle, our current points leader, only P3. Daniel Builez with an amazing P1 finish, over just under 8/10 away from anyone else in this race. We are going to take a quick break and get a word from our sponsors, but we'll be right back to go over our grid walk.
A huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favourite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience today with premium 3D printed accessories featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style, elevate every lap with top-tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. Go Setups, premium esports setups for everybody. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specialising in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts and Fairy World collectibles. Magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costumery, cosplay, and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron. And from KP Concepts, your source for custom automotive renderings, graphic design, and printing. We spend countless hours making you look all good for the spectacle. Check out kpconcepts.com for more.
All right, we are back for our grid walk. I have done a quick check on how many laps Daniel Builez has done. I'm going to make you guess, though, Kyle. So how many laps do you think he's done?
Well, my original guess was 111, but I've been led to believe maybe it's higher, so maybe I'll say 294.
You're closer, but no, it's higher.
Well, how many?
351.
That is incredible, and that speaks to... But like I was saying, I did like 320 laps for Barcelona, and I still had like a miserable time for that. I mean...
Yeah.
So that's impressive that his practice obviously paid off.
Yeah, so if anyone wants that in terms of hours, he spent about 10 hours practicing this track just in laps. That does not include any setup changes or anything that he did. So yeah, I would definitely say he's the favorite at this point. So that's Daniel Builes, first on the grid walk. Second, Ian Gilchrist, our one of the main contenders for our championship. He's currently, I believe, fourth with about a 30-point gap to the guy right behind him, Joey Van Winkle. He's looking to try and get past Ian Gilchrist and Daniel Builes on the start. He has the speed, the straight line speed, but he doesn't have quite the cornering speed. So it'll be interesting how to see that dynamic plays out. Jeremy Rand currently sitting in P4, doing an amazing job to get up there. Hopefully, I'm not going to say that. I don't want to jinx him. Danny Scarborough is P5. Also doing really good here today. Alan Leung is currently second in the championship with about a 3-point gap to Joey Van Winkle. He's going to have to fight back if he wants to make that gap smaller and possibly take the lead in the championship here today, especially since Dick Zipperburn Sr. is right behind him, and he's about 11 points back from Joey Van Winkle. So very close battle between our top four. It's about a 30-point gap between Joey and Ian. Alejandro Guarin doing an amazing job here in silver. If he's able to keep this position, I believe he will take the lead in the silver championship. Now, Daniel Builes up at the top. He's going to make a massive dent in no matter where he scores. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Max Yang, currently sitting in P9, has had a couple bad races here due to incidents. Hopefully he's able to turn around here today, as well as Brad Bertram, who's not been able to race every week. I have to go through this quickly. Shane Sullivan is currently P11. Brad Marath, P12. Quinn Jetter, our current silver leader, but maybe not for long, in P13. Jason Yu, P14. Denny Savard, P15. And Stefan Pellerin, P16. Really quickly here, Kyle, is there anything that you expect to happen here in this race, or anything that you don't want to see happen in this race?
Well, what I expect to happen, I don't want to see, but I do want to see, you know, like, I don't know. That's a hard decision. From a commentator's perspective, it would be good to see like 14 of these 16 cars crash out in the first lap, but I don't want anyone to make contact on the first lap. I'm in D5. I want D5 to be cautionless for at least 3 laps.
Well, we will do our best. Unfortunately, someone disconnected, and I'm not sure who. But
2 people disconnected.
2 people disconnected. That is really unfortunate. Hopefully they're able to join back here eventually, but we are getting right to the line here in just a moment, maybe. And we are green off and away for SRA Division 5. We are neck and neck here for P2 going into the braking zone. Joey Van Winkle will have the inside line, but he will not have the brakes. We are 3 wide, essentially all the way back. I'm going to try and find here. We're clean all the way through, but still 3 wide into turn 3. Okay, they're backing out a little bit, probably for the best. Oh no, Sullivan, that's Quinn Jetter also making contact. Sullivan was shoved onto the inside curbing, so that is him all the way back to P17. So someone must have rejoined. Jeremy Rand losing 2 spots, or losing 1 spot, I'm sorry, to Zipperburn Sr. Scarborough losing, I believe, 2 spots. I could be wrong. Alan Leung also losing a spot.
Jetter looked like he must have lost some spots.
Yeah, Jetter lost a lot of spots, unfortunately, when he got collected in with the Shane Sullivan incident up front. Daniel Builes already has a 1-second gap to everyone behind, though, so he is off to the races quite literally here. So, Ian Gilchrist still within about a second-ish. He's pulling a gap on Van Winkle. Van Winkle is the start of our train-ish, but I think the main overtaking threat here is Jeremy Rand on Zipperburn Sr. Now, Zipperburn Sr. will have the straight-line speed advantage because the Mustang is insane. So it'll really all depends on, as long as he can get his corner exits down, he should be fine. But we are clean except for a bounce along the curbs here through lap 1.
Well, even the small accident they had looked like it went about as well as it could.
Yeah, there was an overtake here between you and Savard. Savard having a massive issue here on corner exit. Bertram unfortunately got hit, I believe, or trapped by the Savard going wide. So he has fallen down now to P15 behind Quinn Jetter. Shane Sullivan still trying to catch up. He doesn't have anyone in front of him, so he will have free reign into the braking zones. So it's really going to depend on if he can catch up quickly. There's a whole bunch of issues happening inside of my race control right now, so... But we're doing good so far. Stefan Pellerin going a little bit wide there. Shane Sullivan going way wide there in the background, so he might have some rear end damage. Quinn Jetter does have front end damage, but he seems to be going stable so far. Kyle, is there anything I've missed?
No, I've been watching like a hawk, pretty much see any yellow dots or anything. There's not been anything major.
All right, so up front here, Savard's still having stability issues. I'm not quite sure if he maybe has rear end damage or if he spun his tires or if he just doesn't like the setup he has, but he is under massive pressure from Stefan Pellerin. Stefan Pellerin going onto the grass there to make sure he avoids Savard, but that opens up both Brad Morath and Quinn Jetter behind. It looks like Brad Bertram is going to go around the outside of Quinn Jetter here into turn 14-ish. He's going to get her. Oh, my word. He almost got a run, but also almost ran into the back of him. So he's going to hold off at least for a little bit. He will have a straight line speed advantage once we get back to the main straight.
Wheelez is increasing his gap significantly.
Yeah, he's got a massive lineup here. Meanwhile, Alan Leung looking up the inside of Danny Scarborough, trying to get back to his starting position of P6. They're still going side by side, but Alan Leung is going to have that advantage of acceleration out of the corners. They have similar braking performance. I think the Ferrari is still better. Oh no, they both have issues. Alan Leung into the wall. Alan Leung now losing 2 positions to Yang and Scarborough. And Yang and Scarborough, and he's still probably going to lose a couple more positions because look how much damage he has. He's probably going to have to come in and pit to fix that. Also, I just missed it, but Savard and Pellerin were going side by side, I believe, down into turn 1. Savard's still holding on to the edge, but they are now going side by side, possibly into turn whatever that is. No. But Savard is having massive rear end issues. I think he needs to up his traction control. Meanwhile, up front here, or a little bit further ahead, Brad Morath, right on the back end of I believe that's Jeremy Yu, or is it Jason Yu? Which is it? It's Jason Yu. All right, so Jason Yu. I don't think I'll have a chance to do anything through here, but maybe on the front stretch as Quinn Jetter had a yellow flag moment here. What happened? No! A double whammy. Unfortunately, that's Quinn Jetter to the back.
Yeah, it's been a couple races like that for him.
Oh. And that's really going to hurt his silver standings in the championship. He still has a decent shot. He's still going to get points. As long as he finishes the race, he's still going to get a certain amount of points. So not too bad. I do think he needs to come into pit to fix some of that damage because he does have a lot of understeer right now from what I was hearing. But we'll have to see where that all pans out. Meanwhile, Alan Leung...
Yang and Scarborough are holding their same positions they were after the accident, so...
Oh. All right. So that gets me to an important point. I'm going to look at our biggest movers so far after the first 5 minutes. So Zipperburn Sr. up 3 positions from P7 to P4. Max Yang also up 3 positions from P9 to P6. And then Jason Yu currently up 4 positions from 14 to 10. However, Brad Morath is fighting hard to try and get that position back to get to his original starting position. So it may only be 3 gained once this battle here, I don't want to say concludes because it's probably going to go for a while. But yeah, and then as you were saying earlier, Daniel Wheelez, I can't use the phrase that I want to for what he's doing, is there's a yellow flag for Savard and Stefan Pellerin. Savard having more rear instability issues. Let's see what happens here. Oh no!
Oh, that's pretty major.
Yeah, so I don't think that was Stefan Pellerin's fault. I don't know if you were able to see that, but Savard had braking issues, and basically as soon as he started braking, he lost a whole bunch of rear traction. So that's probably what happened there. Alan Leung coming into the pits to fix that front end damage that he has. probably going to be about a minute pit stop to fix all that damage, so we'll have to see where he comes out. Meanwhile, going down the front stretch, Brad Morath coming into the braking zone, but not able to attempt an overtake on Jason Yu. I'm really shocked, because the Mustang has a lot more top speed than the Porsche does, and it still has a good acceleration. But it could be turning issues as we see him go off a little bit there.
Yep. If you can wrangle the Porsche, it's second to none almost in just turning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Meanwhile, Stefan Pellerin trying to fight his way back up to the front. He's right on the back end of Shane Sullivan, who's gained some position since his lap 1 bunny hopping. Back up to P12. Not able to do anything here into turns. I believe this is turn 12 and 13. I need to pull up the track pack, so I actually know where
you made a little
is.
attempt here.
Oh no, there's another yellow flag for Savard. I'm not gonna bother showing that.
Morath dove the inside on the hairpin and almost got it done, but you got away from him.
All right, we'll show this here with Morath and Yu. Unfortunately, I didn't go back far enough, so my apologies there. But yeah, Morath and Yu still fighting it out. They have now cut up to Alejandro Guarin, so it's very possible now that Morath really doesn't get a chance to overtake Yu, since Yu might be in that slipstream now. And then moving a little bit up front here to P5, Jeremy Rand holding off Max Yang and Danny Scarborough by about 7/10.
Morath just
That is contact.
That was a hard dive.
Yeah.
He was getting frustrated.
Hard and nasty. Unfortunately, I think the stewards are going to have a word to say about that, assuming it gets reported. Remember to make your reports, but either way, for the moment, Morath is ahead of Jason Yu. I keep pulling off their battles just as they're getting good. I don't know why that is, but anyhow. Yeah, so Morath is definitely pulling a massive gap on Yu. Trying to pull in behind Alejandro Guarin is a little tough, though, because Sector 2 is where the Ferrari really does its best job in terms of lap time, and it's also where the Mustang really has its worst lap time, because Sector 2 is all about turning, and the Ford, it's better than it used to be, but it can't turn. It just can't turn. So I don't. What car were you driving, or what cars do you have experience in?
The most in the BMW, and then I would say the Ferrari and the Porsche second, but definitely the BMW. I have a lot of hours driving that thing.
Yeah. The only experience I have from the BMW is fighting against it with various people, so unfortunately I can't speak to how it drives compared to other cars.
I think pretty well. I mean, well, for me, kind of comparatively, all the cars I'll change to one for the practice, and then I'll jump ahead of another of the one. So I get in the BMW, I'll set a faster time than I did the Porsche. I get in the Ferrari, I beat the BMW. I get back in the Porsche, and I beat both of them. So it's just, I don't know. I kind of think like the car is a car in here. Like, they're subtly different, but they're all capable.
Yeah, they're definitely all capable, but if you look at some of the cars, they are definitely a lot faster at certain tracks than others. Like,
oh yeah.
I'm someone that I was talking to tested a Aston Martin around this track, and the Aston Martin is so fast around here. It's absolutely insane.
So the BMW has, I think, the most tracks that it has the record time on, and the Aston's pretty high.
Yeah, that Aston Martin speed helping Jeremy Rand to try and solidify his P5 finish. Holding off Max Yang and Danny Scarborough here for the moment, mostly because they've been fighting each other. Danny Scarborough, I think, is faster than Max Yang. I don't want to say that for fact, but that's kind of what it seems like with the gaps that they're forming. So we're gonna watch coming out of this corner. The Mercedes is going to get a little bit of a gap on the Ferrari, but the Ferrari, I think, should be able to claw some of it back here at the end of the straight, if nothing else, just due to the difference in braking performance. So let's go ahead and see. I'm sorry I have to pull away from this because Ian Gilchrist is off.
Oh, man.
I'm going to pull this up. So Ian Gilchrist fighting with Joey Van Winkle. Oh, and he just loses it on the brakes.
Yep.
Oh,
Lanu's in the chat. He says that his broadband went down during the formation lap. It just came back up. So he's one of the two that are gone.
yeah, unfortunately, that would do it. Disconnects not an uncommon occurrence, unfortunately. I know that D1 drivers have had issues with that in the past. So you can say that you have at least one thing in common with is it Diego Donarte? Donarte? Not 100% sure. Shane Sullivan having a little bit of a moment here coming through turn 6. Did he have help with that incident coming through Sunset? No, he just lost it on the brakes. Very good save, though. I will say that. So very good save on the grass there. To Pagan Priestess 979. So if you go into our description, toward the there should be a so at the bottom of the description there is a thing that says follow the action. You can sign up to join at www.simracingalliance.com. It's spelled the same way as our channel name, or you can look up our Discord. I know our Discord is on the website, so probably go to the website and you can be told where to go. Someone just went off. I heard gravel, but I don't know where it was. I want to say it was Quinn Jetter, but I don't know, so I won't put anyone on the spot there.
Oh, if it was, I feel bad. Jetter was making up some time to the guy in front. No, it looks like he still is.
Yeah, he's still making time.
He's chipping away.
Yeah, he's still doing a good job. It's just, unfortunately, when you have issues at the start, especially with how much damage it looks like he has, I'm not sure, but I know he has front end damage and rear end damage to some capacity. It might only be about 5 seconds of damage, but even that much, especially if it's localized in one spot, can cause a lot of issues. Meanwhile, out front, I missed it, unfortunately, but Danny Scarborough got past Max Yang and now is hounding Jeremy Rand here. Jeremy Rand will have a similar advantage to what Max Yang had in straight line speed, but it will have better cornering, I believe. Thank you, Jess, for providing the link.
Oh, yeah. I had gone through all the work to copy that, so I put it in there anyway.
All right. Yeah, so please, yeah, if you want to join our racing series, we're unfortunately nearing the end of our current season, but you can always join our fun races that we host, and you can join the next season, which will start. This is not official, this is just me guessing. I believe somewhere middle to the end of April.
Not soon enough.
I will agree with that, but our admins need time off, unfortunately. And so do we. I know that you haven't been streaming quite as much, but doing 8 weeks of streaming, you like the break in between. Sure. But yeah, so Jeremy Rand's still fighting off Danny Scarborough. I will come back to this in a moment as you and Bertram are now fighting. So unfortunately, I think you has a little bit of a repeat memory here. He's fighting against a different colored Ford, but it's still a Ford as Bertram goes way wide, possibly allowing Stefan Pellerin to get into this fight. Shane Sullivan is also now in the pits to repair his damage, so we will have to see how long his pit stop is.
Somewhere between Marath taking over you in that dive bomb, you has lost many seconds to him in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's mostly just on pure pace, because their best laps are about a half second difference from each other. and Yu's last lap was a lot different than the last one. Meanwhile, Brad Morath got an amazing jump there on Alejandro Guarin to take over 8th place. Amazing send up the inside. Alejandro Guarin not able to fight back against it. And that's the reason why people choose the Mustang. It's because if you get side by side into the corner, there's a very good likelihood that you will be faster out of the corner than anyone else. Other than maybe a Porsche, but you still have top line speed over the Porsche. So, yeah, that's that. So we talked about Ian Gilchrist, how he spun, unfortunately, out of P2. He is still P7, so in line to get some good points. But I don't think, unless he's able to get a lot of positions here in the pit cycle, I don't know if he's really going to have a shot at the win here for the Gold Championship. He has to score really well here if he wants a shot. Now, he is really close to Max Yang. He does have a blue flagger in between in Shane Sullivan, who's getting out of the way now, thankfully. You know, I just missed it, but Stefan Pellerin just got past Brad Bertram. Going to show this here now. Brad Bertram growing deep into the braking zone, allowing Stefan Pellerin past, and now Stefan Pellerin gets to try and get around Jason Yu. I find it a little unfortunate for Yu. Yu has been doing an amazing job in qualifying, getting top 10, sometimes better, just about every single race. Unfortunately, the car that he's in is not good at all in defending, so he seems to lose his positions as the day goes along.
Oh, Bertram had a big off there.
Oh my, he did. I'm gonna show this here. I'm assuming it's him going deep. And then I'm gonna have to quickly go back to Stefan Pellerin because he's still right on the back end of Jason Yu. Yeah, so unfortunately just going way wide there through turn, I looked at this. Turn 9. The exit of turn 9 into exit of turn 8 into turn 9. Anyway, back to the battle at hand. I'm gonna go on board here with Stefan Pellerin just so we can see how this looks from his perspective. Taking a little bit of curbing there on the inside of Cheetah. I think he can probably take it faster if he wanted to, but especially at this point in the race, being safe is better than being dead, so I won't fault him for it. As there is a yellow flag for Alejandro Guarin. Yep. I'm going to assume that was unfortunately a similar incident to Ian Gilchrist, where he lost it on the brakes. Yeah.
Pellerin and you about had an incident in that turn, in the first turn.
All right, well, we will.
These guys are spicing up here.
Oh, yeah. So, unfortunately, the replay ended about halfway through that incident, but yeah, so just a little moment there. I think if Stefan Pellerin wanted to, he could have forced the issue and been fine.
So. Oh, we got a dive bomb. Oh, ooh. Nope, he didn't stick it. I don't think he committed.
Yeah, the Porsche is better on brakes and acceleration, I believe, when compared to the Aston, so he definitely has his work cut out for him. But this has also let Quinn Jetter back into the picture here. He's a little bit behind them.
Oh, he's going to catch up. I feel it.
But yeah, Stefan Pellerin getting a better exit. Sorry, you were saying?
No, if they keep fighting each other, he'll catch them.
Yeah, the one interesting thing I see here is the difference in the way that they attack the corner 13 is what it is. Yeah, so ideally when you're taking that corner, you're supposed to follow a wide line. You're essentially supposed to follow the inside of the preceding downhill left-hander and then use all the outside space on the left-hand side to get around. As I missed it, but Max Yang and Ian Gilchrist, unfortunately, I've missed it, but Ian Gilchrist got passed by Max Yang. Max Yang having an issue there, and Gilchrist getting back past him. Scarborough, I think, also had a brief yellow flag moment, but I don't know what it was for, so I'm not going to replay it. But yeah, Max Yang. Oh no! here right in the main screen. Unfortunately, I'm gonna replay this again because I was looking at the chat over here. So I'm sorry, Yang, you're gonna have to watch this multiple times. Oh, just losing all the brakes into turn 8. I think these drivers need to move their brake balance forward because there's so many drivers that are losing it due to rear end instability.
That or crank the TC up.
Or that, yeah. I know that was.
I mean, we are all in D5.
Issue. That is true. I'm not. Oh my! Someone went way off there. That was Alejandro Guarin going all the way through the inside gravel there, but staying straight.
I just know a lot of people when I say that will be like, "You should learn to drive the car and not have to use traction." It's like, if you think these guys aren't using traction control, I mean, professionals. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Now, there are D1 drivers who are using traction control. I was watching the D1 practice, the D1 D2 practice race yesterday, and in the the Mustang, there was someone using TC5, which to me feels insane because I know that I'm supposed to, or like, I know you're like, it's been preached, you know, if you can't drive TC0, you're not driving fast enough, but you know, it is what it is. Because I know that in the Nissan around this track, I could technically drive at TC0, but that's only if I want to wreck out like every other lap. So I still drive with traction control turned on.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, I pretty much use anything Go Setups tells me to, but I am not afraid. I mean, halfway through the race, if my tires are, or my rear tires do spent in the BMW, you will know. It will just start sliding out from under you, and every corner it hasn't for the past 15 laps. So I just cranked the TC one and problem solved. It's like new tires. Up. Pellerin just made the pass.
I actually got it on the main screen this time. Stefan Pellerin getting around Jason Yu. I did it actually this time. I feel like
you looked pretty aggressive, like he was going to be ready to take it right back, but I think he just got too far away.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Porsche wallet. Someone else went through the grass. I heard it correctly this time.
I think it was you.
No, this was Marath. Marath went through the grass or something on the. I believe it was the exit of Cheetah. Oh, he took a big bite out of that curbing. A very nice save to keep it out of the wall and keep it going straight. Unfortunately, he did lose the position to Max Yang here, but not a big issue. So, hopefully, not too many people die through Cheetah again. However, if someone does die through Cheetah, I want to see them absolutely go flying. Like, I really don't want to say that I want someone to do that. But if it happens that someone dies, I want them, you know, to go to full beans it. As Silvard comes into the pits. Yeah, so for Pagan Priestess, yeah, I can definitely understand the 12-hour endurance races being an issue. I will say that we do have an endurance series also. It's not currently being streamed because no one, unfortunately, has time to stream a full 8 hours of racing, but we do have an endurance series that's only about 6 to 8 hours going on right now. So if you want to join that, our next race, I believe, is the first weekend in April. So feel free to join that if you would like to.
Oh yeah, I'll join that.
Yeah, it's been really funny. Every time they schedule, like they laid out the schedule at the start of the season. And every single weekend that they scheduled a race, I've had something, so I haven't been able to race. And
the last one I was like ready to sign up, and it was on my birthday, and I was going to be out of town. I was like, dang it, man.
That would do it. That would do it.
I'll stream it, you know. It's fine.
Yeah, so here up at the front in P4, Jeremy Rand has caught Zipperburn Sr. Zipperburn Sr. again fighting in the gold championship. Oh, if you're from the UK, yeah, that'll be interesting. But if you're up if you're up at this point watching, it's not going to be that much worse, probably, allegedly. Anyway, Jeremy Rand going a little bit wide there on the exit of turn 7. Now coming through turn 8 and 9, doing a very nice job there to keep it straight. I think the difference in who's going to win this battle between Zipperburn Sr. and Jeremy Rand is who pits first. Oh, maybe not. Zipperburn Sr. going a little deep there into the corner. Oh my word.
Oh man, that scared me. Jeremy, relax.
Oh my word. You have another 30 minutes to go. Don't throw it all away now.
Okay, they're back at it like normal. There's one other battle going on. Oh, it's for 5th and 6th here.
Yeah, well,
Gilchrist and Scarborough.
Yeah, we can see them in the background there. Some of the shots. I don't know what happened there. Jeremy Rand going, like, braking too early. Zipperburn Sr. braking a little bit too late, and now they are almost side by side here, coming down the pit straight. Jeremy Rand maybe trying something here into the braking zone. No, Zipperburn Sr. doing a good job to cover the inside. They both go deep, but that's not an issue. They're both about a half second away from each other. Ian Gilchrist there in the back, also fighting with Scarborough. If Jeremy Rand and Zipperburn Sr. don't be very careful, as I think they're about to go side by side here through sunset. No, Jeremy Rand backs out. Yeah, if these guys aren't careful, they're going to let Scarborough and Ian Gilchrist back into this fight for the podium. So I think they need to seriously consider pitting essentially at the end of this lap. Because I know that if one of them, if they don't pit and Ian or Scarborough do pit, they are going to have a very big advantage compared to all the other drivers. So no big dives into the hairpin up here.
They're all very close together now.
Yeah.
Gilchrist on the last turn, last lap, about outbroke himself and almost got up into Scarborough there. So we'll see what happens this lap.
Yeah, I do really expect at least one driver to pit. I would almost say if Zipperburn Sr. pits now, that Jeremy Rand needs to go another lap, just so he has some kind of tire advantage going into the end of the race.
Yep, there he goes.
Yeah, so Jeremy Rand is now let loose, kind of. He has 2 cars right behind him. I'm going to go to the helicam to watch all 3 of them going into the braking zone. None of them is, I don't think, is close enough to try anything. Unless something really sketchy here happens into turn 2. No, all right, they're still going strong. But yeah, so these guys really have to consider pitting essentially this coming lap. I think the Ferraris might be able to hold off another lap if they really wanted to. But I think the only person who really could get away with that is Ian Gilchrist here, who's maybe looking up the inside? No. All right, but yeah, with both Jeremy Rand and Scarborough going off ahead of him, I think he's in a better position to go longer if they both pit this lap. If only one of them pits this lap, I would pit with them, though. But it'll be interesting to see Jeremy Rand's last lap compared to this lap. He's currently down.
Coloring got past you back there.
Ooh. All right, there's also another yellow flag for Alejandro Guarin. I don't know what's happening here, but he is stopped in the middle of the track. I don't know what happened there. I'm going to assume that's a technical issue. Thankfully, no issues, because I believe he was far enough away from everyone else. But yeah,
Rand is pitting, Scarborough's pitting, Gilchrist is staying out.
It's almost like I have predictive powers. Also, Joey Van Winkle into the pits. So I'm going to stay here. Actually, no, I'm going to go back to Zipperburn Sr. because Zipperburn Sr. was in 3rd place. So if he had a bad pit stop, or if Ian Gilchrist has or if Joey Van Winkle has a bad pit stop, that could change the championship order here. Ian Gilchrist now into P2. Daniel Builas still with an amazing lead out in 1st place. I don't know how long it'll be until he pits, but I assume he'll pit soon.
He's got a heck of a lead.
Yeah, it's a 30-second lead. All right,
Yeah.
Joey Van Winkle is now moving.
Jetter's making a move on you.
Oop. All right, so Joey Van Winkle is still way out ahead of Zipperburn Sr. by about 10 seconds, so no real issues there. Jeremy Rand, however, now in a drag race to see if he can get down to turn 2 before Zipperburn Sr. can. And he does. Now, he will have colder tires. He will have colder tires, so if there's any chance that Zipperman Sr. can get past him, it will be here within the next 2 laps, I think.
But are his cold tires about the same driving-wise as Zipperburn's? Or no, who are we talking about here?
Yeah, Zipperburn and Ran.
But they both came out of the pits, right?
No, Zipperburn Sr. pitted the lap before.
Oh, that's right, yeah. So... he's got warm tires and they're not wore out, so
yeah. So if he has a shot of passing him, I think it'll be in these next couple laps, especially because the Mustang is really bad on tire management and how you have to drive the car to get good lap time. I don't think he'll be close enough here to make a move into the braking zone, and he's not. So I think he might have like one more lap, and then obviously his chances to pass aren't over, but it'll be very hard for him to pass. Meanwhile, Daniel Builes out into the lead again. Still, he is on track for a Grand Slam at this moment. I don't know if he'll be able to stay on track for the Grand Slam. I doubt anyone will really have a shot at overtaking him on track or getting his fastest lap, but we'll have to see. Yeah, Jeremy Rand now up into P3. And just behind them, Zipperburn Sr. and Danny Scarborough fighting down into the braking zone. Scarborough will have better brakes, but he's not trying anything. Kyle, is there anything on this racetrack that I'm missing at the moment?
I'm watching very carefully this. Jetter's, I feel like he's gonna pass. It's just a matter of time. Whether it's gonna be clean or not, we'll see. But Jetter's gonna get past you. They were just side by side for a couple of turns back there, so he is racing smart though. He's not pushing the issue and wrecking them both out. But he's getting there.
Well, if you see them about to make a move, go ahead and yell at me, and I'll try and pop over to them. Yeah, right now, this is our main battle between Jeremy Rand, Zipperburn Sr., and Danny Scarborough. There is also a battle for P7 between Max Yang and Brad Marath. But those, this is a little bit more important here, as it does have massive championship implications. I'm going to pull up a points reference page here once we get closer to the end of the race so we can see where it all will shake out. I was saying that it was a 2/10 gap. It's less than that. It was a 4/10 gap. There's also a Jetter here. I'm going to go ahead and pull into here, possibly making a move onto you here into the braking zone. No. Not going to try anything yet.
Just about to yell at you, and you got it.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch. Meanwhile, Max Yang going way deep. That'll let Brad Marath get right up behind him through Cheetah here, this sharp right-hander.
Jetter got him.
All right. So very
that was a good move.
All right, we will go ahead and share that here. Here, now we'll watch it. That is a send and a half. Amazing job there. A little bit of contact there on the apex, but I do think Jetter had overlap in time. So
yeah, oh yeah.
Very nice job there from Jetter. And that is probably a good thing for anyone to see. If you think there are only 2 places to really have 2 or 3 places you have a good overtaking chance at. Turn 2, where they're going through right now. Turn whatever that was. Turn 13, where that overtake was made, and then turn 10, which is the sharp hairpin. You know, there's a yellow flag for you. I'm not going to look at it because I don't want to embarrass him. Not really. I think it's probably the same issues everyone else has been having through turn 5. But also, this battle up here for P3 is so dang close. Zipperburn Sr. still right on that rear end of Jeremy Ran. I really don't like some of the camera shot angles here at this track. They're really weird. I don't know if you've how much you've been able to see them or pay attention to them or not.
I actually, outside of what's on the stream, I'm just in driver view scrolling through these guys, so I haven't had to worry about it.
Fair enough. But yeah. So hopefully I'm able to get some good views for you to see. But yeah, so Jeremy Ran still holding on. He has to hold on for another 22 minutes, which I'm gonna quickly calculate how many laps that is. About 14 more laps to go. Maybe 13, but 13 to 14-ish laps, depending on overall pace. You know, Daniel Buila is here up in front with a 16-second gap to Joey Van Wil behind, has set a new fastest lap of a 142.2, which is qualifying pace for D4. And he's in D5, so, you know, like I said, he practiced this track for a long time, so he's going fast. I think he's still going faster. Yeah, he is, so he might set another fastest lap here in a moment. Joey Van Winkle, current gold leader, with a 13-second lead over Jeremy Ran in P3, so I think P1 and 2 are kind of solidified at this point, but there's still definitely this battle for the third step in the podium between Ran and Zipperburn Sr. It's going to be a battle of the ages, probably. I think as the longer this battle goes on, though, it's going to go toward Jeremy Ran. Zipperburn Sr., I know, is amazing at defense, but I don't know specifically about offense. And then there in the back, you can see Ian Gilchrist and Scarborough getting a little bit closer together. And then just behind them, Max Yang is fighting with Brad Morath and sometimes Alan Leung to hold on to P7. Brad Morath going very close to the back end of Max Yang here through Cheetah. And he's not going to be close enough, I don't think, to try anything into turn 2 braking zone. But we'll pay attention here, as this could very well become a 4-car battle with Stefan Pellerin not too far behind. Meanwhile, I'm also going to go here on board with Brad Bertram, trying maybe a move. He's going to get a better exit than you will onto the main straight, and he will have the slipstream, as well as just an overall better top speed. So as long as there's, oh my word, that was not fun. He is side by side into the braking zone. He's going to try the over-under maneuver, but I don't think he'll get the pass done yet. I keep flipping between all these camera views, so hopefully I'm not causing anyone seasickness or something like that. But yeah, unfortunately, you having a tough time. I think he may have hit the wall, which is why you see that damage there on the front of his car. So probably fighting for his life at this point. And since we're through the pit stops, I'm going to go ahead and go over. Oop.
That was a little scary. Zipperburn was like, I think you couldn't fit a piece of paper between him and Ran in that.
All right, we're going to watch this here. Ooh, my. Yeah,
scared me.
This very makes sense. Yeah, this isn't quite D1 where you can have absolute trust in the driver ahead of you, because ideally you're not supposed to break through Cheetah, but it kind of seems like everyone is. You know, I was talking about Bertram and Yu fighting. Yu has gotten passed now by both Bertram and Alejandro Guarin. Unfortunately, going off there.
I think they made contact that time, maybe. I'm not sure. Ran and Zipperburn.
All right. It definitely looks like they're close. I'm going to... yeah, we'll click... Nope, I didn't go back far enough. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine.
They are still very close to each other. I can't show it because
Oh Lord.
the dang replay is...
Zipperburn, I think Zipperburn's maybe getting frustrated.
All right, so they are now...
He made it past, I think.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna be mean and show another replay here and get told I'm doing it wrong probably. So yeah, they go side by side. Maybe a tiny bit of contact going into the corner, but I don't think so. And then he just squeezes Jeremy Rand, so he has to get off the throttle. Stefan Pellerin has gotten past Alan Leung for P9. I don't want to say that Jeremy Rand is out of P3 contention because Zipperburn Sr. was definitely losing a lot of pace at the end of the last stint. And Jeremy Rand's fastest lap is still faster than what Zipperburn Sr.'s is, but we also know from Snetterton, or 2 races ago, whenever it was, that Zipperburn Sr. throws a mean defense.
Yeah, it was a Zolder race.
Zolder, okay.
And then there was some of it on Snetterton, but that was really the showcase.
Yeah, so Zipperburn Sr. pulling a bit of a gap here now, so it's all going to depend on can Zipperburn Sr. keep his pace up. I don't want to say Jeremy Rand has the advantage here because obviously he doesn't because he just got passed, but I think in terms of the long term, I think he will have a better car at the end of the race. Now, whether or not he's able to use that to get past Zipperburn Sr. again is very much up for debate because he will have pressure from the 2 Ferraris right behind him.
Oh, Marath's going to get by Yang. Yang had a slight off there.
Yeah, I caught that just in time to watch the off. Brad Marath up into P7 now. I don't want to say that, unfortunately for Marath, I don't really think he has any chances of overtaking anyone else unless there's a massive wreck ahead of him because there's a 20-second gap between P7 and P6.
Yeah.
There's also almost a 20-second gap between P1 and P2, but I'm going to ignore that for the moment. Anyway, I'm going to quickly go over some statistics here for our biggest movers. Zipperburn Sr. up 4 positions from 7 to 3. Brad Marath up 5 positions from 12 to 7. Stefan Pellerin, though, is our biggest gainer, all the way up from P16 to P9 with 7 positions gained. So he is on a tear right now.
He's pushing Yang right now too. So let's see how that one plays out.
Yang does. Oh, Builes, no! I believe this was unfortunately a blue flag incident between him and Savard. We're gonna have to watch this here. No! He got out of the way, but not enough. And Builes backs into the barrier. Now he's gonna have a lot of damage too.
He's
still
got an 18-second lead.
No, it's only 2 seconds.
Oh, mine hasn't updated yet.
20-second gap down to 2 seconds. Oh. So it is definitely now a race. I still think that Builes has the advantage here. His fastest lap is faster than Van Winkle's by a long stretch. Well, it's actually only 4/10 now, but his average lap was better. The main issue that he's going to have now is how much damage he has. He had a little bit of damage from the contact, and then I don't know if he was just like, what in the world was happening, and didn't hold the brakes, but he wasn't able to get past him. There's also a yellow flag for Scarborough here. I'm going to quickly show what happened here. Ian Gilchrist got past Jeremy Rand, and now going into the braking zone for turn 13, Jeremy Rand a little bit all wide there. Oh my word, 360. Fortunately, he's able to keep it going straight. But yeah, so that's Jeremy Rand now still in P5. But yeah, I missed the pass with Ian Gilchrist. That was probably in the chaos happening with Builes. So yeah, Jeremy Rand now down into P5. Ian Gilchrist up into P4. So our our P1, 3, and 4 drivers are now in P2, 3, and 4 overall. Alan Leung is the biggest loser, I would say, out of the top 4 because he's currently sitting down in P10. That still will be some decent points for him.
Did you hear that,
Just not
Alan? He
enough.
called you the biggest loser, dude. That's rough.
It's I could be more diplomatic about it, but unfortunately that's just the case here in this point right now.
I'm just kidding. I'm sure he's a good sport.
Yeah, he can feel free to ping me and make fun of me in the D5 chat later. I will fully take that on, but yeah. Stefan Pellerin right now chasing down Max Yang for that P8 position. Really close to him still. I don't know if he'll be able to get past him. I think he has the pace for it and definitely the car condition, because if you look at the front of Max Yang, his bumper is a little bit flappy. It's a little easier to see it right there, I think. But yeah, so Max Yang currently backing up Stefan Pellerin and possibly Alan Leung too. It's very possible that there could be an issue between Pellerin and Yang that allows Leung to get up into 8th position, and that would allow him at least a chance to possibly get into or stay in championship contention. Also here up front, Scarborough still trying to chase down Jeremy Rand. He has caught back up after his 360 spin. I kind of hope that Scarborough gets onto the podium so that I can ask him about his 360 spin, because unfortunately I won't be interviewing him unless he gets up onto the podium. But I don't know, maybe I can ask. I can probably ask him about it later.
Van Winkle is picking up time on Builes now. It's got to be because of the damage.
Yeah, their last lap difference was about a 2/10 difference. Builes with a 1:43.1, Van Winkle with a 1:49 or 1:42.9, not a 1:49.9. That would be insane. So they are definitely close. Meanwhile, Ian Gilchrist trying to make a move on Zipperburn Sr. into the hairpin, not able to do anything, but he is making Zipperburn think, and he is showing that he's fast enough through Sector 2 to attempt something into the hairpin, and I think that's really his best chance. Because as I was saying before, if you're a mid or rear engine car, your best sector is probably going to be Sector 2. For the Porsche, it might be Sector 3, I don't know, but definitely Sector 2. Whereas the Ferrari is much better in Sector 1. So if he's going to get past, I think he has to make it into turn 10, unless Zipperburn Sr. has an incident or an issue like he does there. Oh, please, no. Okay. A little bit of contact there on the exit, but Ian Gilchrist gets past Zipperburn Sr. He is now up into P3. I don't think he has a shot at overtaking Van Winkle, but he's definitely... Oh! That was very close there. So yeah, Zipperman Sr. losing P4. This is bringing Ian Gilchrist back possibly into the fight for the gold championship. We are going to be down to the wire in next race probably. This is going to be fun.
I'm nervous for Builes right now, where he's another... He's made... Van Winkle's made up another 2/10. Oh, more than...
Yeah, the last laps... In the last lap, Van Winkle's about 3.5, 4/10 quicker. So Builes definitely feeling the damage there on that rear end. The good thing for Van Winkle, well, the thing for Van Winkle, I will call it, he does not have to attempt an overtake on Builes. I think he will if he is given the chance to, but he doesn't have to because he's currently sitting P1 in the championship. Right now, P2 in Gold Championship is sitting P10. And the P4 is above P3 in the championship right now. So he will be increasing his gap as long as he finishes where he is right now. Now, of course, the extra 10 points from getting P1 will help him a lot more than if he's sitting in P2. But I don't think he has to be as aggressive as maybe some people think he will. Because if I remember correctly, he does have a race win already, so he doesn't have that pressure on him. But I
wasn't so much thinking about like the need to be aggressive as much as like, I don't know, I guess I'm projecting a little bit because you see the world as you see yourself, but I am not at the level to pay attention to that much math and info while I'm racing. So I wouldn't know necessarily where right now the guy behind me in the championship is, and I'm just going to push to try to get that position.
Fair. Yeah, I think that's definitely fair. You might be able to, like, if you're top in your championship, you might be a little bit more aware about who you're fighting against. So I think,
yeah, that's true.
In his Delta readings, he will see that Alan Leong isn't P3 or P4. He's not right behind him, so he's not under that much pressure. Now Zipperburn Senior and Ian Gilchrist are both about 11 and 30 points behind him, so there is some pressure from that, but there's no immediate threat for him to do super well here as he goes deep there into turn 13.
That makes sense. I mean, I'm the type that I didn't even know I was in third place when I dropped out. So that's what I mean by I see the world as I see myself.
That's
I'm just
fair.
like, man, I wouldn't have even known.
Yeah. Now, there is also the drive to win, as unfortunately Shane Sullivan, I believe he spun through the exit of turn 2. I won't replay that for his safety, but yeah. Now, I have never won a race, so in his position, if I were in his position, I would still want to try and fight for the win. But I am also not P1 in my current gold championship, so there's at least in my mind, there's more pressure on him to not wreck than there is to win, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, definitely. And also, Builes made up some time on Van Winkle there. He's back. He was back to another 2 seconds. So he's if he keeps it together, he's probably okay.
Yeah, trying to overtake on this track is very hard, especially when you don't have an explicit straight line speed advantage like a Ford Mustang or a Nissan GTR or a Lexus.
I was about to say the Lexus.
Yeah, so I don't know what the Lexus, I don't know what model the Lexus is. I can only say Lexus. So it's going to be really hard for Van Winkle to overtake Builes. Now, I think the BMW has better straight line speed than the McLaren, but I think the McLaren has better short-term acceleration. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's the case. But yeah, so that's where I stand on the start of this, or on this. Yeah, so we are just now getting down to 5 minutes left in this race. Zipperburn Sr. has fallen back into the clutches of Jeremy Rand. Unfortunately, I don't think Rand has a chance to get back up into the podium positions at this point, because he would have to overtake Zipperburn in this lap and then make up a 4-second gap in 3 laps. And I don't know if it's
he can
really
do
possible.
it, man.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, but I don't know. I don't think it's likely.
Look at all these chat members rooting for him. He's got the 12th man on his side. He'll be okay.
Might be the 20th man with how many people are cheering for him, but yeah. Yeah, and then
this is the most interesting battle right now. There's a Scarborough Rand Zipperburn situation,
but Van Winkle is now within half a second. Also, Stefan Pellerin finally got past Max Yang. I'm gonna replay that here in the pit just so we can see what happened. I believe it was an overtake up the inside into turn 2, and it was Stefan Pellerin forcing the issue, not letting Max Yang take the apex away from him. Gets ahead. They are now side by side again. I think Max Yang is still behind. Ooh, they're gonna go. They might go side by side into turn 7. No, okay. They're being smart about it for the moment, but I'm gonna watch this battle here for a moment until I see something else big happening. As Stefan Pellerin, bad exit here on turn 9 that might give Max Yang a chance to do a dive bomb here to turn 10. No, I don't think so. Whoa! All right, I'm gonna stop watching Max so that he doesn't have any more issues. I'm gonna go back up here to the front, where we have a half-second gap between Builes and Van Winkle. And then, are you able to...
Wheelez is getting a boost from chat now. What's that?
All right. Are you able to watch the battle for P4 to make sure I'm not missing out anything there?
Oh, I'm watching that, yeah.
All right.
Oh, there's the yellow flag.
Yeah, it's for Danny Savard. Unfortunately, he's had a lot of... We already talked about his issues, so I'm not going to bring that up anymore, but he's... As I said, he's had issues, unfortunately, this race. Van Winkle now within 3/10 of Daniel Builez. I believe we're going to have 2, maybe 3 more laps. I think it's 2. Meanwhile, Jeremy Rand and Scarborough getting very close to the back of Zipperman Sr. Where are they going through now?
Something is going to happen here, I feel like, before the end of the race. They're getting tighter and tighter every lap, so...
Yeah, Zipperman Sr. not getting the best exit there. It's causing Jeremy Rand to check up a little bit, so he's not going to have a run here into turn 10, but he doesn't have that many chances left. So we're going to go ahead and follow Daniel Builez and Van Winkle for just a little bit longer as we come now into the last corner. I believe we're going to have 2 more laps, so Builez has to hold on for another 2 laps. Unless he has a really slow lap, in which case it might be the last lap, but I don't think it will be. All right, yeah, so 2 more laps for Builez, 2 more laps for Zipperburn Sr. to try and hold his position. Zipperburn Sr. going wide.
Oh, man.
Jeremy
I thought something was going to happen there.
Yeah, it looked like it was. Jeremy Rand needs to get in the slipstream, though. Unless he's going to try something here to turn 1. No, he got out of the slipstream too soon.
He thought about it.
Oh. Danny Scarborough trying to force the issue by performing a bump on run on Jeremy Rand. Thankfully, he missed him. Oh, they're side by side now. No. I mean, they are. Zipperburn Sr. is clamoring all over the track, trying to make sure that he's not going anywhere. Brad Bertram has the drive-through penalty. I would not have expected that, to be honest, but, you know, that's where we're at.
I think Zipperburn is just trying to keep those two battling each other so they don't have an opportunity to get him, you know?
Well, it certainly seems like it's working, but this does allow Jeremy Rand to get a better exit through turn 9 this time around. I think Zipperburn Sr. is safe, but they are very close. Meanwhile, up here at the front, Van Winkle and Builez,
oh my God,
3/10
Van Winkle
difference.
almost had something there.
Yeah, they were close. There's too many good battles, but we are now coming through the final corner. We have 1 more lap to go. Builez holding off Van Winkle by 0.4 of a second. I'm going to watch them here into turn 1 and then come back to that battle for P4. I don't think Van Winkle's going to try anything into turn 2. No, he is not. Now, he is going to get a much better exit here into on turn 2, but I don't think it'll matter. So going back here to this, can Zipperburn Sr. get a good exit here? No, he cannot.
No, definitely not.
So if Jeremy Rand can get...
Jeremy's going to be alongside.
Yeah. Jeremy Rand is not getting into the slipstream. He might be holding off for later, but he doesn't have many other chances to overtake. He needs to try something here.
Right here.
Zipperburn going wide, going deep. I don't think it'll give him a chance, though. If he goes off here again, and he does... Oh, no, Zipperburn!
No!
So...
Lot of pressure.
Oh, so much pressure. There's also a yellow flag for Max Yang. He's just going deep there. Scarborough still very close behind Jeremy Rand. Oh, I feel so bad for Zipperburn Sr. He was doing so good. Oh, unfortunately, now that Jeremy Rand is out of Zipperburn's wake, I think he'll have that locked down. So I'm going to go ahead and come back up here to the battle for P1. Van Winkle only really has 1 more corner to do anything, and I don't think he has a chance as long as Builez holds it straight, and he does. Very nice job there for Daniel Builez, who will come across the line. P1 for an overall victory. Van Winkle P2. Ian Gilchrist is going to come across the line P3 here in just a moment. Ian Gilchrist honestly doing an amazing job here coming back up. He started P2, had a couple issues, but is back up to finish P3. Jeremy Ran and Danny Scarborough fighting to the very end to come in P4 and P5. Zipperburn Sr. honestly had an amazing defensive drive. I feel so bad for him, so much pressure, but he will still come across the line P6. Brad Morath almost getting him at the very end, but coming across in P7. Stefan Pellerin with P8, Alan Leung P9. And yeah, and I believe Max Yang will round out the top 10. I will go ahead and stay here so we can look at our finishers, but honestly, other than a race win, I would say this is probably the best case scenario for Van Winkle. Alan Leung, his closest competitor, was a 3-point gap, is now only he finished down in P10 or P somewhere lower. Zipperburn Sr. wrecking on the last lap to finish P6, and then the person he was farthest away from that had a realistic shot is the one who finishes close to him, with Ian Gilchrist finishing P3 right behind him. So Van Winkle improving his lead to hopefully, as well, he would hope anyways, be able to round out victory there. But that is your finishing order. Daniel Builez, Ian Gilchrist, and Joey Van Winkle. I'm going to screenshot this so that I can pull in interviewers. But Kyle, now that we've hopefully had a little chance to breathe, what do you think of that race?
That was very exciting, very fun to watch and witness. I wish they're all like that and for many more.
Oh yeah, that was absolutely insane. I'm going to ping some people to get them into the booth.
Having multiple kind of interesting battles at once for most of the race is also very cool. It wasn't ever a line or a parade. It was always something exciting going on. Somebody said in the chat, this has been a really entertaining D5 season, and even from this perspective, it has too, not just from racing. So
yeah, it's been really fun to watch. I'm kind of hoping that some of these clips are able to be used in the whatever you call it for next season, the intro video for next season, but we will have to wait and see what our amazing in-house editor Selena Booncher does. Anyway, give me just a second. I need to make sure that they're actually in there so that I can pull them up. All right. After you got to listen to me typing. All right. So, if I can do it, I want to pull in P3 first, and then go up the order. I see Joey Van Winkle in the chat, so I may have to pull him in first, just because he's the only one I see. Yeah, I'm gonna... Alright, Ian Gilchrist unfortunately can't make it, so I will go ahead and pull up our P2 finisher, Joey Van Winkle. Joey Van Winkle!
Race, dude!
Sorry, I
got
pulled you.
Pulled in already.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
no, you're good. You pulled me right as first place popped in, and I was just about to give him congrats.
My apologies. We might give you a few seconds to say hi to him when we send you back down before we pull him up. But anywho, congrats on your P2 finish. Very close battle at the end there with Builez. So go ahead and talk us through your race, how it went, and how it all went down.
Man, after last night's practice race, I had zero confidence coming into this one. I thought it was going to go well based on practice, but the practice race didn't go well, and then qualified P2, and I'm like, all right, qualified P3, and I was like, all right, we've got a chance. I didn't think that I was going to be anywhere close Bolyes, but I don't know if something happened with him in a blue flag, or if he made a mistake, and that last 10-15 minutes was that was a lot of fun. I was doing everything I could trying to capitalize. I noticed that he was a little slick in sunset, and I wanted to capitalize on that on one point, and I needed to get close. And he kept it together. I gotta give it to him. Congrats to Daniel.
Yeah, unfortunately, he did have contact with another driver. I'm not gonna call anyone out because it definitely wasn't intentional, and that's not my place to do it. But yeah, so. And at least made it very interesting for the last few laps for you. I know that you were 3/10 behind him coming into the last lap. Did you have any realistic shots you think of overtaking him, or was he just stable enough that you didn't get quite the looks you wanted?
I mean, like I said, he was. I know I was gaining on him in the first sector, and he looked extremely loose in sunset. So I figured if I had any chance it was going to be in sunset, if he just lost it a little bit, and then I was able to get the car beside. But yeah, he held it together, and congrats to him.
All right. Well, Kyle, are there any questions that you have for Joey here?
I don't think so, man. I was going to ask you just about what it was like when you were all of a sudden like, oh man, I might be in this for first, but you kind of answered that, so it was very, very fun to watch, and it was very entertaining. Good job.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. So, last question before I give you the one that I give to everyone at the end. I know that before the incident that caused Wheelers to fall back into your lap, basically, you were kind of alone at that point. How did you manage, or did you have a strategy for making sure that you stayed consistent while there was 20 seconds on either side of you in terms of timings, or were you able to, just keep in drive the whole time?
I was just trying to drive the whole time. My main objective this race was to stay ahead of Zipperburn and Leung, because they were my two closest contenders in championship, and I think I'm going to go into the final race with a little bit of a cushion.
Yeah, you will.
I love the Red Bull Ring, so I'm kind of excited for that.
Yeah, so to give you an idea, you finished with 100 points. Ian Gilchrist had a 30-point gap. He finished P3. That's now a 38-point gap. Zipperburn Sr. finished 6th, unfortunately, after hitting the wall in the last lap. So that is now it went from an 11-point gap to around a 38-point gap there, maybe 39, I'm not sure. And then Alan Leung finished either somewhere between 8th and 10th. So that went from a 3-point gap to about a 40-point gap. So you definitely have a cushion going into the last race. So hopefully you can use that to your advantage.
That's what I like to hear.
All right, well, last question I have for you. Is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to, whether it's a teammate or someone who might have been watching?
Always got to give a shout out to my fiance for putting up with this, and always got to give a shout out to my boy up in D2, Rusko, for watching me every week.
Yeah, he was in the chat earlier cheering you on. So, I'm going to send you back down to your race review. But again, great job and good luck in our season finale next week.
Awesome, thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
All right, so that was Joey. I will now pull up our P1 finisher, Daniel Builes. Daniel Builes, welcome to the booth.
Hey guys, how's it going?
So I'm going
What's going on?
So before I ask you how your race went, I'm going to ask you, how did you find so much time that you could put 300 laps into practice?
No, I just got tired of losing, and every night I came from work and I'll just start grinding.
That's fair. I did calculations, and in just the laps that are counted on SRA, you did 350 laps, which is about 10 hours of pure driving, which I've done before. It's absolutely insane. You're definitely not going to be in D5 next season, I can say that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Thank you.
Great job. Congratulations, P1 finish. Grand Slam. You got pole, you led the whole race, and you got fastest lap, despite some unfortunate issues in the second stint. But go and talk us through how your race went.
Yeah, no, so all those hours, I also got a new rig, so you know when you get a new rig, you don't want to get up of it. So I was set it up and put hours after work, and then I was like, I need to get good at the league. I'm sucking at it. I need to be good. I don't like losing. And I grinded all that week. That's why you see so many hours. I still late, I'll calculate, watch videos. And so that was that. The other hand, I got good rhythm, good pace after training. I got the curves memorized, everything. I was fine, I was comfortable. And then I think the last car got a blue flag. He let me pass, and then he smashed me in the back, like really hard.
Yeah.
So after that point, my car is completely damaged. I finished with the car damage. I loosened every curve. You could check the replay how bad it was after that crash. I don't know how I managed to finish. I think it was just my hope to get the first place, and all I know is I keep losing every corner. The car wasn't as fast as before. Right after the crash, so right there is where I felt the fear. But yeah, that's tough.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah, Van Winkle was talking about how every time he followed you through a corner, he wasn't sure if you were gonna wreck. So I can definitely understand that issue. Kyle, do you have any questions for Daniel here?
No, again, they just answer themselves. I was going to ask you about that accident and you know, what your damage is like after that, but you just went into it. So, I mean, we could definitely tell there was some damage that was affecting you because you were losing pace that you weren't prior. So it was impressive that you kept it together for the rest of the race.
Yeah, after that, I lost 1 second every lap because I was gaining every lap. After the crash, car damage, lost the second, and all I see is the second guy behind me and pushing, and I could be faster than him. I was faster than him in like 2 corners, and I guess that was enough to get it together and finish.
All right. Well, 2 quick questions for you, hopefully, to round it out. First question: are you going to put this many laps in for next week, or are you going to chill a little bit?
No, I'm gonna put the same effort for everything.
All right.
No?
Well, then you have I'm not gonna say it's a good shot, but you have an existent shot at getting the silver championship if you win next race. So I want to put that in your head.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. And then last question I have for you: is there anyone that you would like to give a shout out to?
No, my family. I told my family, go watch it. I think I'm good in these races. So thank you for Kayla, Sarah, Tati, Angel. I got a whole crew watching, cheering for me, and thank you guys for hosting this. You guys put a lot of time and effort, so I appreciate you a lot for all you do for the SRA.
Yeah. Well, thank you for giving us something that we like watching. I think you would have preferred maybe a little less of the spectacle there at the end of the race, but it was fun either way, and you got your win. So again, congratulations.
Yeah.
Good luck next week, and I will go ahead and send you back down to your race review.
I'm gonna ask you before you do that, Trey. Can you pull the replay? I don't know if you have it handy about when I passed the blue car. I just want to see what happened. I didn't get a chance to.
I'm not going to show it because that feels like I don't want to call anyone out on stream. The replay will be uploaded to our SRA Nextcloud, and you can probably ask them to show it in your driver's briefing when you get back down there. So I'll let you take care of that down there. That work for you?
That's fair. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you, and have a good night.
You too, man. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Let's see if I can get this to work. All right. So that was our P1 and P2 finishers. Unfortunately, Ian Gilchrist decided that sleep sounded better than doing an interview, which I will make fun of him for it, but I definitely understand it. So, anyway, Kyle, any closing thoughts from any of the interviews or anything like that?
No, I like all these guys. They all seem like pretty straight shooters, and most of the time in the drivers review, in the race review, they take accountability for their accidents and stuff. And I haven't yet to hear like a fight or anything. I know it does happen, and I hear about it in some of the other ones. But D5 seems to be pretty chill. I'm interested to go kind of listen through that, and I'm excited to get back next week and see. Well, I'll be here for D4 tomorrow.
All right.
So I'm excited about that.
All right. So speaking of that, make sure you come back tomorrow. We still have more races to come. Tomorrow, D4 is going to be happening here on YouTube. You can come listen to Kyle Boys yap some more. So it should be a lot of fun. And then also, if you wanna watch me race, actually on track, I will be in D2. That'll be on Twitch or on YouTube here on this same channel. So make sure to go watch that if you want to. Or if you just want to continue watching D5 for all that kinds of fun, next week we will be coming back for Red Bull Ring to finish out the season with some very tight battles here for gold and silver. Now they've gotten a little less tight with the finish of this race, but it will definitely still be a spectacle to see who comes out on top. So, any final closing thoughts before I let our viewers go?
No, man, that's it. Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you, Kyle, for joining me in the booth. It's been a lot of fun to have you. But I will go ahead and let you guys go. So have a good rest of your night.
When I was just a new driver, I asked Coach Jeffries, what will I be? Will I be speedy? Will I crash out? Here's what he